wiser with wine. Wiser with wine. Keeping it real, one pour at a time. This is wiser with wine.
We are here today with a very dear friend of mine. I have to say, my oldest friend in the world. We've known each other how long, Dee?
Heavy on the old, geez.
I'm not.
We were at 19, so now we're old. So what's
Older,
that?
I don't know.
20 years,
I can't remember.
25 years.
Can't remember the numbers. It doesn't really matter.
25 years plus.
Let's say 25 years plus. My oldest friend, Deanna. To
Then
our
aren't you
listeners.
you're reversing in age, so really it's not that long.
We're doing a Benjamin Button.
That's right.
Yes, we're always 32.
Yeah.
So we're here today to talk with Deanna about diet and spirituality and just a general open conversation about a few interesting topics that you have in your life. And but before we delve into that conversation, we'll talk about isms, because I feel like we're surrounded by isms. So give me an ism over there, Lucy. What's an ism?
Minimalism.
Minimalism.
Oh, that's a good one. And then I tried to be a minimalist. And I
Yes.
went yesterday and bought 2 6-packs of cups, like mugs,
Yeah.
coffee mugs.
Yeah.
Then I realised I had already about 24 of the mugs, so I returned them. So I'm a minimalist. Good on you.
Well done.
And then I'll just smash
I
the other
couldn't be
6 so I've got
bothered.
less. No, I was like, God damn this, I've got a problem. Because I forgot what the fuck I bought.
Right, okay. And then Alex, an ism from your side?
Liberalism.
Liberalism. Talk about that? No, we shouldn't talk. You want to talk about that? No. And then we have
the only one she knew.
Look, I'll go to veganism, ageism, ableism. There's so many isms. Optimism.
Yeah.
So we are in an age of isms, and it feels like everyone's got a trend or doing something, and they have to label it as such. There has to be. How do you identify with this? And I feel that's a bit of pressure around there, because I don't know how you feel, Dee. I don't like being labelled, or do you like being labelled?
I kind of feel like it was a lot easier when we were growing up. I feel like it's much more complicated now. Labels are much more complicated now. You have to be really, really careful about how you speak to people. Because I work in a cultural environment with lots of isms and lots of groups. And you just got to, we came from a generation where we grouped everything together, and now everything's so specific.
And
So-
the ism bears weight,
Yeah.
a certain type of weight and
Yeah.
opinion, whereas
I always
before
think
it
of
didn't.
feminism. Whenever you see ism, I always go
Yeah.
to feminism, which has come a long way and I think has changed a lot. But yeah, it's tricky. Isms are tricky.
Yeah, we're talking about us growing up and how we first met. So I will give the rundown. If you remember the story the same, then we can. How did we meet?
I'm surprised you can remember anything from back then, because I feel like she was pretty much blackout drunk for most of her 20s.
I think she
and
was.
30s.
And 30s as
and
well.
30s.
So
And right now.
No, I know.
I think 40s she became wise.
We were talking about having a drink, and I did say in our last podcast, I have no problem at drinking any time of the day. So basically, we are Fremantle girls, and we were in Fremantle when it was really hip, and we were on the hospitality scene, and we used to work next to each other, Sandrinos and Geno's, if I can say those words.
Yes.
It doesn't really matter.
No.
Geno's Pizzeria, excuse me.
Yeah.
And so Dee had a bit of an altercation next door at Sandrino's, came to see me next door, and I was managing, 18, 19, and asked me for a job. And then from there, we have gone through life and met each other in strangest parts of the world.
Yeah.
And we have the one thing about our friendship is that we go through the same thing. It may not be the same exact, let's say, like if I'm having a hard time about something, Dee is probably having a hard time about something. It's an emotional synchronicity. So that we go through the same thing about something, if I can explain it that way. Am I making sense?
Yeah, you are making
sense.
I get you. I get you.
So if we're both having a hard time, we're both having a good time, it's about different things. And I always feel very connected to you. And she probably knows me better. Probably my mum only knows me better than Deanna, so to speak. But my favourite memory, I was just thinking about you this last time, my favourite when we fell asleep on the train.
Oh, yeah. We used to work on a ship. A cruise. Well, you know this. And
Alex doesn't.
We used to work on a cruise ship, right?
Yep.
Oh, there's actually, if we're going to talk about synchronicity later, this is our synchronicity
this-
story about how we reconnected on a ship on the other side of the world, and we knew each other and were friends before. She disappeared, went to work on a ship. I lived in Australia. I applied for a ship and ended up on her ship.
That's crazy.
Just all the ships in the
Of all
world.
the
We've
ships.
met again. Anyway, so we would get off in Venice because the boat would dock in Venice for 2 nights, and we'd like, stuff Venice. Venice is done. Let's get out of here. We'd train it to Verona.
Yep.
And we would go have these dinners in Verona and sit there and drink and have a, great time. And then one time we were training it back from Verona to Venice, and we passed out and fell asleep. And we luckily woke up. Well, we were on our way to Austria. We would have missed the ship.
I was just going to say, you got to make sure you don't wake up in a different country.
We were going to
How
another
funny is that,
country,
eh?
and we're just like, fuck. I tell it off. But luckily,
Oh,
I don't know what woke us, but we were just passed out,
No, I think
probably drunk.
The train terminated there, and the guy was walking up and down the hallway. That's what woke us up, and he
gee.
poked us like we were homeless. He poked us like we were homeless people because he wanted
it
to
was
get us
going to Austria.
off the train. But Dee thought it would be really funny when we were in Verona to introduce me to a dish, and she was laughing the whole time because I eat and drink everything, by the way. And I ate it, and she said to me, "That's horse."
It's a common dish in Verona.
But can I tell you something? When you don't tell the person what it is,
Yeah.
you eat it.
Yeah, of
Hello.
course.
Do you know, I used to waitress.
And I bet it was lovely.
And people were scared of anchovies. Never used to tell people there were anchovies in dishes and things like that because all it is salt. And
But you know
people
what
don't
now?
realise.
She was
like
doing that.
anchovies.
I wonder how many would have had like anaphylactic episodes. Like, I didn't know.
The waitress didn't
didn't
tell
care.
me. Like livers and things like that is to get people to really step out of their comfort
that's
zone
brilliant.
and try things, because people hear gorgonzola and they go, oh, no, it's stinky. I'm like, no, in the dish, it just adds this. Sometimes people have those preconceived notions, they don't try things. I never used to tell people things. And they love
you
things.
do.
They used to lick the plate. And I'm like, suckers.
So I ate horse in Verona
She ate horse.
with Dee,
And she loved it.
And I did.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
did
was
love
it lovely?
Yeah, it was like
See?
A very lean.
It's a type of meat. So
It's a
as long as
lean-
it's cooked or
It was,
barbecued.
quite
it was
lean.
grated actually because it's so coarse. So they grated it on a plate, and that's what Dee introduced me to. So that's I was just thinking about one of our fondest memories. We've got lots of memories. I mean, me sleeping in the back of the car in Gino's driveway, and
Yeah, we used to go out and party.
but
Just go out and party.
Across the road.
And we'd go to the Clink and we'd go to Metro's
Yeah.
and we'd do the Freo run. For the people that live in Fremantle, they understand.
Yes.
And I would go home because it would be 3 a.m. and I'm like, God, I've got to open the restaurant the next day. And I'm like, this bitch is going home, right? I would roll into work the next morning, setting up Gino's Pizzeria ready for the thing. And this one would roll in the clothes from last night. She'd have this massive bag with her with all her deodorants, hairsprays, makeup, all of that. And she'd go in the bathroom and she'd freshen herself up. And I'm like, did you even go home? She's like, nah, I slept in the car.
Do you know what? That must be you and your brother, because Alan used to say that he goes, I'd see Rynae or whatever, or I'd walk past like at 5:50, and I'd see everyone coming into the cafe, and he goes, I'd be leaving the nightclub thinking, shit, I've got to be at work in 10 minutes, quickly just go home, just get my uniform on, which was only around the corner, and then he goes, as I'm walking, throw it on the floor or on the road, and he'd go to work, and then he goes, it just all the out of my pores, all the alcohol would come out while I was cooking.
Yeah.
it's genetic.
So it must be a genetic thing.
It is.
It's them.
But even cruise shipping, we'd party all night. She would make me drink just disgustingly, and she has got
And
a disposition
ongoing.
for alcohol, and I don't. And she's like, have another one there. And we just get absolutely munted. I would go to my cabin, fall face down into my pillow, have to get up the next day and do a 14-hour sea day, go to work looking like something that you find under your couch 10 years later. She rolls past fresh as a daisy, uniform on, like officer's
And
uniform
completely
on,
straight.
and looking
And you're
fresh.
like-
And I'm like, oh my God, I want to die.
But then you don't see her afterwards. Like
Okay.
after your stint, it'll be like a full day of like, don't talk to me.
Well, I wasn't.
But you were amazing.
I was an officer back then, so I could actually act like that.
No, but she could do that. She was
Hair
straight
as a-
14
hair as
days.
a dog. She really could hold it. And I'm like, how are you looking so good?
jealous.
And I would be like,
You know
this.
what it is? I think it's just like practice.
It's good. Practice makes perfect. It does. So we just finished our last podcast, Dee, and we we're talking about Chinese astrology.
Oh.
Right. So funny enough, I'll just mention this quickly. Both Dee and I are fire snakes. So, and the thing about snakes is that we always evolve and we always change. And I think both of us have changed a lot in our friendship. And I suppose I can introduce to it now what we're talking about. We're talking about your lifestyle, your diet, what you do. And then the second part, we'll be talking about synchronicities, which I always struggle to say. And we'll talk about your knowledge on that, Dee, and what you think about synchronicities. So let's just start with maybe a bit of Q&A. And Dee, tell me what you've done to change the way you eat in the last decade and how you identify yourself with food?
Okay, so I'm not a vegan.
Okay.
We can sit on this dead animal. It's going to be okay. Not a vegan.
Fake dead
Hang on,
animal.
were you a vegan though? at
No,
one point?
veganism is the difference between the way I eat and veganism. Veganism is ethical. It's an ethical choice not to engage or participate in anything that would harm an animal, and that includes wearing wool, eating honey,
Okay.
leather.
Even honey.
Yeah, eating honey.
But you're not killing. You're not doing anything.
Yeah,
to
I
them.
think it's
No,
got
but it's like
something-
slave labor of bees.
Yeah,
I think is
sometimes
child labour.
real strict vegans won't
There was
even
an
have
eye roll then.
won't even have figs because the wasps die or something. I don't know.
Oh, okay. I never understood that.
I don't understand it because I'm not a
Okay.
vegan. So I changed my diet.
Mm-hmm.
I would identify closely with whole foods, plant-based
Right.
diet. So I still have honey. I still wear leather. I do wear wool. Vegans don't come for me. But I don't eat anything that poos or has a face or lays eggs or the egg. Like I don't have dairy. So it's very close to a vegan diet, but it's not veganism because veganism is very ethical. It's moral.
Okay.
This is just me eating a certain way. And it started because I grew up in the typical Italian household. Love all Italian food. Don't get me wrong. I love the way we ate and the way we grew up. We had food on the table and it was always abundant and plentiful, and there was colours, there was fruit, there was veggies, there was meat, there was fish,
everything.
there was everything. And obviously, minimal olive oil, we never had butter. We were just the typical Mediterranean diet. Loved it. But watched my dad, who was diabetic, was diagnosed with diabetes at 30 and just deteriorated with this disease, which killed him eventually, 3 days before he turned 70. And I don't know, watching someone die from something that when you research it and you look at the latest findings, it's all, my dad was type 2 diabetic, reversible with diet, and they just don't want to hear it. They just, So I just watched it happen, and it just really, I don't know, I think it put not the fear of God into me, but it made me really cognizant of how I eat. And I'm like, oh my God, is diabetes genetic? And I'd start looking it up because, I'm just, and I think it just, that's where the path was, that watching my dad suffer, and I just was probably terrified that it was going to happen to me. And I thought, if this is something that I can control, I'm going to start with I think I stopped eating meat, not just because of my dad, but my mum had cooked rabbit. I love rabbit. Has anyone had rabbit
Love
here?
rabbit,
I love rabbit.
Too many bones.
Bloody love it.
Yeah, love rabbit.
And my mum cooks it like in white wine, and it's sticky and it's delicious, falls off the bone with the potatoes. And she cooked this rabbit. Nobody wanted to eat it. And I'm like, I'm eating this rabbit. I ate this rabbit. I went home and had the meat sweats for probably 2 days. I'm like, I think I overdid it with that rabbit. And I thought, I'm just going to have a little break from meat. I didn't go in thinking, I'm never eating meat again. I just had a break from meat. And I didn't go back to it. I never went back to it. I don't know what happened. I just was like, I think I overdid it. Don't feel so good after eating all of that. Had a little break from it. Thought to myself, I'll eventually crave it. Never craved it again. And I sort of went from there. So it wasn't like a complete overhaul. It was just researching a bit about diabetes, researching a bit about plant-based diets. Once I cut that meat out and realised, oh God, I feel so much better. And then I sort of went, and it was a very slow process. And I think the last thing I cut out was fish. And I think fish to this day is probably the one thing I can still smell cooking now. It doesn't sicken me. It's actually quite a nice smell of the ocean, and I don't think fish, but
You've got different memories to it.
yeah. Meat, I don't miss it at all. And the texture of it now, I think about, it's chewy. It's gross. And you have to add lots of things to make it taste good. Like you have to add a lot of salt to meat. Like no one's getting a steak and eating it raw, or there's tartare, but you add seasonings to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I get you, but
it's just flavourless.
I love meat.
I know. No judgment.
And do you know what
No
now?
judgment.
I'm just actually hungry for
A prosciutto sandwich.
Jesus, or Wagyu or something like medium rare.
Yeah, I think it's just a thing. I don't know. I just stopped eating it. I
Made me
didn't miss it. And then I went from there.
I just wanted to ask though, so what was it about the diabetes and then the whole food plant-based? Is it sugar levels?
So diabetes, if you read the latest scientific peer-reviewed research on diabetes, we've been told all our life it's sugar. It's not sugar. It's fat. It's fat, and it's insulin receptors, and it's the fat being trapped in the blood. It's fat. It's a disease that isn't about sugar. Everyone thinks it's about sugar, but I read I can't even remember what the what the article was, but it was a they did, I think it was Pritikin or someone in the 60s or 70s or 50s took type 2 diabetics and fed them white rice and sugar, and their diabetes improved, and they're eating white rice and sugar, which is everything that they tell you not to eat. Like, it's fat, saturated fat. If you follow plant-based doctors like Dr. Michael Greger, and there's another guy, the one that did the starch solution, they all talk about low-fat, high-carb diets and there's people that are doing low-fat, high-carb diets that are controlling their type 2 diabetes with very minimal medication, and some people are off the medication completely. My dad didn't want to hear about it. That was when I was researching. I was like, Dad, look at me. Oh, shut up. You don't know. You're not a doctor. You know, that's what they're like. But my dad was up at 2 a.m. getting a teaspoon of Nutella out of the cupboard because he was having a sugar crash. And I'm like, something's not right.
That's crazy.
Nutella. And that's what he would do to bring his sugar back up because, so I don't know. I'm not a doctor. All I know is for me, I read what I read. I researched it. I started eating in that way. I really loved it. I feel better. And I just don't miss anything. I don't miss cheese. I look at people eating the cheese-laden things. Yes, cheese tastes amazing, but I don't know what is better is how you feel without. I just feel better without it. I feel heavy when I eat like that. I feel heavy.
That's crazy, you know that. But I think it's when you get older too.
Do you think?
Don't you reckon when you start to get older, you are not, like milk for me, I can't deal. It's too heavy. Like I'll have it, but I don't feel well afterwards.
Yeah, it's funny
so
because
more like almond milk and stuff like that's more easier for me.
So
Do you know what I mean?
I'm dating this guy, right? He's an omnivore, but he's always said, oh God, when I eat with you for the week, when I'm with you, I feel lighter, I feel better, I feel more energetic, I sleep better, my diet's, like his digestion's better. I mean, he still eats everything. He's not gone plant-based, but he recognises there's something in it.
Oh, definitely. Like there's
Yeah.
I definitely agree with that.
Yeah, and I mean, there's people that do it and they hate it. There's some people that say to me, I can't live like that. I need meat. That's fine. Everyone has to find what works for them. For me, I cut things out not because I was restricting myself, but because I went, oh God, I feel better. I feel better.
And that's the most important thing.
And I've been doing and eating this way.
Oh.
My dad died when I was 40. I'm 47 now, so probably 8 or 9 years.
Yep.
So I remember when I first told my mum, I don't eat meat anymore. She goes, it's okay, I'll make you some chicken. I go, Ma.
Such a European.
It's so European. What about these meatballs? Because they think meat is a steak. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm thinking my big fat Greek wedding.
Do you know? Do you
It's
just
okay.
remember,
I
you
make
remember your
lamb.
auntie?
I make lamb.
Your aunt, your dad's sister.
Yes.
Do you not remember were you there when we went for a Christmas? Her daughter had so we walked into the house and she was throwing stuff in the kitchen. It's like she was having a mini breakdown. We're like, Merry Christmas. I'm not going to say names because I know who it is. And she was like, oh my God. She's like, got really bad crow English. She goes, oh my God, she not eat the meat. And I'm like, you've walked in, you're like, okay. She goes, she's a vegan, she bloody vegan. And I'm like, what the hell? And then your brother comes in and he's like, I'm going outside. I'm like, no, don't leave me in here. She's like, she come tell me now. No, she's the vegan. No, eat the meat. There's only meat. And I'm like, what the hell? And then I realised she goes, vegan, bloody vegan. I'm like, oh, vegan. She goes, yeah, vegan. And then I found out her daughter had that day gone to a farm because I think the guy that she was with at the time, I don't know, family lived on a farm and she saw them actually get slaughtered and she was like, no. So she went home to tell her mother, who's very, I think, besides God, meat is right up there, to tell her that she's now a vegan.
Yeah.
And she was like, I can't believe she's vegan. And then she kept saying the whole thing, there's chicken. And I'm like, yeah, it's like the same thing. I think if she saw the cow die, that she's like, I don't believe this.
They don't associate.
This is
Chicken's not an animal to
And then she
Italian.
sat the whole time at the Christmas just evil eyeing her thinking, this is disgusting.
But it's funny you say that, but in saying what you said, Dee, feeling better, I know in my life, and I've had a challenging few years, I have chosen to actually have meat-free days, and that's a big call from me because I would eat meat all the time.
Yeah.
But I have 3 meat-free days a week where I don't where I have oysters or fish for dinner, and I should say red meat, but I do still eat fish on those days. Or some days I choose just to have veggies and have no fish and no meat. And I will say you're right, I do feel better on those days that I don't have the meat products.
Yeah.
Digestion's better, sleep better. But come the weekend, I'm back on the Wagyu and the red
Yeah,
wine. Don't you worry. But there are days I make a choice because my certain medical numbers, I have to do it because it's a health thing now.
Yeah.
And I think it's great that, and I think this is a message to everyone, especially women. Actually, probably more to men, to be aware of those numbers from the doctors because those health checks are really, really important, especially when you hit your 40s. I think you agree?
Yep.
Yeah, because those numbers will indicate what is wrong with, and you are what you eat at the end of the day. You are what, and those numbers will reflect your. Well,
I
not
was
all the
at
time,
my
but
lowest iron ever. I think I was 14 or 16, which is half dead, right? Mm-hmm. When I was a meat eater.
Yeah,
I was
so
eating meat 5 times a week. And I had my lowest iron. I went plant-based. Yes, I still have had an iron infusion in the 9 years. I think I'm susceptible to it. But I've never crashed like I was crashing when I was eating meat. So not everyone absorbs the iron in meat the same way, I think.
everyone,
And women are a bit.
Everyone has
everyone,
different,
everyone has a different chemistry.
Because everyone thinks, you eat meat, you get iron.
That's so not true.
It's not true.
Especially for a woman as well. We're a bit different.
Still when eating meat. So,
Cut from my legs.
So there's an old saying, make food your medicine or medicine will become your food.
100%.
It's really important because, and this is, I suppose that's the message from this particular conversation we're having today. And I hate saying that. I hate saying that I'm getting older. I really do. But
you are.
I know. We all are. But
you should be happy you should be grateful that you have the privilege that you're getting older. This is a privilege to get older.
The alternative is not very nice at all.
Yeah.
So, in saying that, do we want to start with some more Q&A?
Yeah,
I think we've got the first one sorted on why you inspired you to
I want to ask this. Since you've now you've adopted this lifestyle, do you find it hard though when you're with family and friends?
Yeah.
Like, when you're at a function and stuff and they get into, do you get into it with them?
I don't get into it with people anymore. At the beginning I used to.
Like very fiery?
Where do you get protein from? Like everyone's suddenly obsessed with protein. And I'm like, you tell me one person you've heard of in your life that's died of a protein deficiency. People have died of heart attacks, strokes, cancer. We hear about it every day. You tell me one case. A protein deficiency is not a thing. So everyone's suddenly obsessed with where you get your protein from the minute you go plant-based. I'm just like, oh. So once, I don't know, I think I just gave up. I don't speak about it anymore. And I get really, like people when you go out, they're like, oh, what are you going to eat? Like, what are you going to eat?
Can I just say this? When you're entertaining and I've got like vegans. Shit, what are we going to do?
Okay.
Salad. Like, it's like, I'll just get spinach. But do you know what I mean? You're like, oh, shit. Has this got meat? Has it touched meat? Like, you just freak out because it's not your lifestyle. But do you get that a lot?
Yeah, I do. But I am actually one of these really odd people. I tend to just, like, I bring my lunch from home. I very rarely eat out. The few places that I go to eat out, most places offer
well, now
option.
They do. Now
they do. It's a lot easier now. And then you travel the world and there's London is awesome to be a vegan. Melbourne's awesome to be a vegan. Thailand's amazing to be a vegan. You go to Bali. Italy's one of the hardest places. Northern Italy. And I imagine Germany and those countries would be the same. But having said that, Berlin and Munich, hot vegan hotspots. But Northern Italy, it was all cheese and meat. I literally ate a vegetable pizza with no cheese on it for dinner. I was just like, there's no options here.
Did you have that conversation with it? Because I could just imagine. What do you mean? Yeah, cheese. Can you imagine? Like,
I remember this Greek in Greece, and Greece is an easy place to be vegan. It doesn't seem like, you might not think it is, but it is because they do lots of vegetable-based dishes that they can omit the cheese off. So I find Greece is easy. But I remember ordering this salad, and I said to the guy, I don't want the sheep's feta on it. He goes, why you do this? You take off the best part. You're breaking my heart. He was also...
You're like, just shut up and take it off.
And I'm like, you don't understand. I don't want it. But yeah, I get it because their cheese is beautiful. There it is, but I just don't eat it. And it sounds like, you're missing out, but I don't feel like I've missed it.
And there's so many great vegan restaurants out there now.
Oh my God,
now there is.
Now, I wouldn't say this 10 years ago, but I sometimes, and look, this may be because of my friendship with Dee. I'm well aware of when Dee told me about her lifestyle change was about 7 or 8 years ago and explained to me, I read that book, How Not to Die. That's a great book to read.
Dr. Michael Greger.
I know.
So
I
good.
read it
That's
within
a great book.
3 days.
I've got to have a look at that.
And the great thing I learnt from that book is if you drink a lot of alcohol, caffeine actually saves your liver. So hence me. So
Is that black coffee?
black coffee?
That's
Yeah,
what
black
you took
coffee.
from that book.
Yeah,
That's
it regenerates your liver, which I thought wonderful.
That's what me and her like. Can we drink? And black coffee, is it included? That's what I do.
But in saying
intermittent fasting.
So vegan options there, vegan cakes, it's great. And I go out and I do take the vegan options sometimes because it's actually nice to have look at the creativity of the chef.
I think the difference between whole food, plant-based and veganism is this. I tend to eat the least processed possible, whereas vegans, like an Oreo is vegan. Would I eat an Oreo?
This was my next question.
No, that's the difference. Everyone goes, "Oh, you're vegan. Have these chips." I'm like, "No, I don't eat fried foods. I actually don't cook in oil." And it's an odd diet, but it works for me.
So what do you use instead of oil then?
Nothing.
I'm just trying to think. Nothing at all.
I have fat in my diet.
Yeah, I was going to say.
I do have fat, but I have the whole point of Whole Foods is like they talk about the stripping. Okay, so olive oil, you're taking that olive with all its nutrients and its fiber and all the stuff in it, and you're stripping it back, and you're taking the oil from it. So it's about eating the whole food rather than eating something that comes from
instead
the
of
food.
extracting it.
Yes, so you try and So when I say that, it's not that I don't eat processed food. I do. Like I'll have tofu. Tofu is classified as a processed food. I'll have tempeh. I'll have these things. But you try and look for the least processed versions of them. So instead of having olive oil, have the olive.
I've got to say, I've always hated tofu, but because we had a function, went to, and they had was it the tofu salad I had? Can't remember.
Were you with me?
The confirmation that we had.
Oh, yes, it was tofu salad.
We had and I've got to say, I think Alan goes, "Oh, we'll try this." We're doing like a tasting.
Go,
and I was
Alan.
like, tofu? I was like, I don't eat tofu. It's shit. And he's like, no, we'll just try it. And we tasted it. And I was like, which one was a tofu meal? And he was like, and I polished, and I actually had it and polished the whole thing thinking it was meat. This is like, I don't cook, so I wouldn't even know what I'm eating anyway. But I'm just like, oh, this is the best. And he was like, tofu. I was like, tofu. And then it automatically went, yuck. And he goes, did you like it? I was like, loved it.
See, it's back to the anchovy. It's the same
Pisces
thing.
up and down.
So I wanted to ask, how much to your health and well-being do you think is it the fact that you're not eating processed food versus the fact that it's plant-based?
Well, I was always pretty. I was going to say I was always a pretty clean eater, but that's not true. I did love a cheesecake. I loved to smash a cheesecake back in the day.
I think anyone loves a smash of cheese.
I love a
Like,
cheesecake.
lollies, chocolate, ice cream, like that kind of the junk food aisle.
See, that's where it went hand in hand. I cut all of that out as well at the same time. So it's probably hard for me to tell you what's the thing that's probably made me feel the best.
Yeah.
But together, hand in hand, going as non-processed as possible.
Yes.
Like I'd rather eat a sourdough toast. I wouldn't go and buy a tip-top bread or whatever the other Helgas. I don't buy that sort of bread. I have that kind of bread. I'll have a sourdough, or I'll have, something that's been made by somebody in a bakery that's, 2 ingredients, 3 ingredients. So that's where I tend to so it's probably a mix of both. Look, I can't.
Would you eat fresh pasta? Like pasta that's made versus...
My mum makes pasta, but it just has to be like cavatelli, which will be just the flour and the water.
Oh,
no
of
egg.
course,
I don't
egg.
have egg.
Oh, that's
of course,
right.
egg.
I don't have egg.
Yes.
And that's my mum as well. She goes,
know what?
"You're stupid." She goes, "So stupid."
Oh, right, gnocchi. That's potato, isn't
Gnocchi,
it?
yeah, but sometimes they put an egg in it, so it has to be just But
yes.
my mum's made me sweet potato gnocchi. Like I bring her spelt flour. She goes, "What's this?" I go, "Ma, just make me gnocchi with this," and she goes, "Okay." And she gets it, and sweet potatoes.
No, she's going to kill you. Okay.
Yeah, she does it because she wants to see you eat, so she kind of wants to feed you, so she's constrained because she's like, this bitch only eats these things.
She won't let me out.
So, but sweet potato has a higher water content, and you have to add more flour to keep it together. It gets very sticky, so she struggles with it. She goes, "This is gonna be shit," but she makes it for me, and it turns out beautiful. She knows what she's doing.
Yeah.
She's just
Shout out to Maria.
Shout out to Maria, who's
Can I
listening at home right now.
That generation always complains. Every time I go pick up, this was shit.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. It still looks like shit, but it tastes nice. Nah. It's
Yeah,
like-
they can never, and they don't take a compliment, but they
No.
love it inside.
Yes.
Inside, they love it.
No, you know what they love? When it comes back empty. and that they know you ate it.
Yeah, and then they make you 500 more of them because you ate that one. So now
That one time.
That one time, now that's what you're going to eat for. I've made you 6 of these. My mum does it all the time. Like you eat one orange and then you come home and she's got 70 kilos of them because you've eaten that one
that's
orange.
love, though.
Yeah, that's the way they show love.
Yeah, that's the way they show love. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
So yeah, it's probably a mix of both.
Yeah.
I would say
Because I agree with you that I think a lot of, and I agree that there's a lot of health evidence that show that a whole food plant-based diet is the best way for some people, and it would alleviate a lot of medical conditions. And then I think there's a lot of stuff in the media at the moment about carnivore, which is the exact opposite.
Yep.
But what they have in common is that it's no processed whole foods. And I'm really interested in how much each of that bears weight, whether it is the fact that it's plant-based or is it because it's not processed or they're not eating
I think the
crap.
non-processed thing's probably a big winner
Big
for sure.
component.
Overall, yeah.
Because think about it. Think about how
It just
our
makes
parents
sense.
ate.
It's
Think
logical.
about how their parents ate.
They made it. Well, if they didn't make it, they didn't eat it.
Yeah.
Or they couldn't have it.
Yeah.
Because you didn't have
And
that available.
They ate seasonally as well. So no one's going to pull a cucumber out in July
Yes.
in Australia. But
Yes.
here we do.
We'll say this. We've had these conversations because I've come back from Europe. Do you know what got me was I love tomatoes. The tomatoes were like apple size and it
good
was
are they?
normal.
How good
and
are
it was just, you know what I forgot about a tomato? How juicy it is.
and tasty.
Yeah. And we were like literally just eating as we're walking. Everywhere we went, we had like tomatoes, but it was like everything there was just so, I forgot how good it was.
Yeah.
Like it's fake here.
Yeah.
I just feel like even for my garden, I think it's fake.
the night before.
And it's different.
The
Soil's different.
All the
It's
Europeans that come
horrible.
here, every Italian I know, like, what's this shit with the tomatoes? Because they're like, they taste like nothing. I'm like, I'm sorry.
It's like Play-Doh.
We don't
It's
have volcanic soil here. I'm so sorry. Because,
I can understand why you would go that way.
Yeah.
And it's the age of now because we want everything now. Everything and as you say, you go like I think I went to go get my little boy some grapes because he loves green grapes, and I went to
It's not the season, by the way.
No, I know that
letting you
because
know.
they weren't there, Dee. They weren't.
Dee.
They weren't there. I walked up and there's no grapes, and I called Peter, and because if my son wants something, he's going to have it.
Yeah.
And Pete,
told me.
Clearly, Renee.
well, and then
Jesus.
Peter went looking for grapes, and there was no grapes either there.
grapes.
There's no grapes. Okay, well now what am I going to do? There's no grapes.
Yep.
And that's how demanding we've become because
I've seen people in the aisle at Peaches buying peaches that have been flown in from California out of season and complaining about the price. And of course, the way I am, I've had to intervene and go, it's not the season. You're paying because you're getting them from somewhere else because it's not the season. Why would you eat a peach in July?
Yeah.
I feel like I'm talking to my mother-in-law.
Yeah, but you know what, Dee? I don't even know when they're supposed to come out now. I've totally forgotten. I'm just
We've
like,
lost our connection to
Street food is
food.
summer.
Yeah.
And to be honest with you, everybody I know, they hate me because they buy things and I'm like, that's going to taste like shit. It's not the season. And
do you know what? Do you know what should freak me out? Now when I go shopping, I'll be like, with Dee. Dee, we're like, not in season.
It's fennels. It's fennels right now. Fennels
You're
and
gonna die.
pears.
Thanks, Dee. Now I'm like, shit, is she? And I'm in Free. I'll be like, shit, is she here?
I'm there. I'm always watching.
I'm going to ring Renee going, do you know where Deanna is today? Because I can't go out
She's
shopping.
following you with the
That's
shopping
why they
trolley
do
going.
those season updates, but I never watch that. I'm all worse. You know, the season update. I don't watch that. Do you watch that?
I don't watch it. I just know.
You just
Like,
know.
how do
See,
you not know what's
Natalie
because
knows.
it's my food. It's the food I
Yeah.
eat, so I
Yes.
know. It's
Yeah.
like, yeah.
I think that's a gift to be able to do that. I think that's great.
Yeah, my
I've
partner
never.
hates
Too hard.
Oh no, I think
it's-
it's wonderful.
It's your health. So
Yeah,
I think
even for
there's
my
a
health, I'm
point- There's
lazy.
a point that, you
you tell?
people just got to decide if that's going to be a priority or not. Like, do you just
I
keep
just
going
think,
to
you know
the
what it is? I
supermarket?
think, and this is probably going to be a controversial thing to say, but I think a lot of people don't take responsibility for their health,
No,
and
yeah,
our taxpayers' dollars end up doing it. So have another, deep fried whatever Mars bar and your 10 pints of Guinness, and our taxpayers' dollars are paying for that. Our hospitals are overloaded with people with diabetes, with heart attacks, with strokes that can be alleviated if people got up off their asses and went for a 30-minute walk, or just stop
But do you
eating
not
so much
think
shit.
it's our society has made it like that?
yeah.
Don't you
Living
think
an
to a
urban
point?
lifestyle.
Yeah.
Yeah, 24/7. You can get whatever you want 24/7.
Because it is cheaper to go junk than
100% so
unless you're a
embarrassing.
market garden or you got a non that bloody has like mine doesn't anymore.
Yeah.
But has that
100%.
veggies and stuff like that at the backyard that's so easy to go.
But Dee is, I admire Dee for this because you actually do. Do you still have a prep day throughout So Dee cooks all her own meals. She has a prep day and buys everything whole food. So your dinners are set for the week pretty much.
Yeah, I've cut back on doing so many dinners, but now my lunches are always set.
So,
I'll just do a prep. So I have breakfast and lunch already prepped. So I get up in the morning and I'll take my breakfast out of the fridge and I'll take my lunch with me to work. So it's done. I don't have to think about it. But that's also because I don't mind eating the same thing a couple of times. Some people don't. And I get that. Some people are like, oh, rice and beans again. Bleh. But me, I'm like, rice and beans. I'm like, I'm loving it.
Can I ask, where do you buy your groceries here in Perth?
I'm a disgrace. I go to Peaches.
Yes.
Shout out to Peaches, Rob and Frank. Woo. I go to Peaches and, but because cost of living's gone up so much in this past year alone.
Yes.
I also go to Gillardi's on Ray Avenue.
I thought you were going to say Gilbert's. Go there. Gillardi's is good.
It's not Gilbert's. It's Gilbert's.
Oh, Gilbert's.
The Wogs say Gilbert's. I love that. No, I don't go to Gilbert's, but I probably should.
No, I do go to Gillardi's too. But you've got to eat it there.
Yeah,
you've got to have it right there.
You have to be careful, but because I live down Ray Avenue, I just go to Gillardi's. So I cut it in half. I'll do half Peaches, half Gillardi's, and that's where I go. And I'm lucky because I only feed myself. I don't have a family. And I actually said this to a friend of mine the other day. If I had kids, I just don't know how I would do it because I'm on my own and I'm cooking these meals for me. And I'm like, gee, if you had to feed a family.
Yeah.
Even fruit and veg, it's not cheap. Fruit and veg isn't as cheap as it used to be. Now but then I suppose meat's more expensive too. So it would be, you're all in the same, we're all in the same boat. It's not expensive.
So moving on, I think we do should we do our halftime?
Yeah, let's go for it.
What, are you going to do the processed cookies here?
Am I?
She let it eat. She wants to know if you let it. Now Dee's here. Do you want one? No.
Are we allowed to eat them? Oh, yes, we are. Come on.
No.
I think Alex.
This is Alex's time when she eats.
I know. I always need a pick-me-up, so I just do sweet twist cookies because they're the best. Renee's mum makes them. They're delicious. Again, it comes back to just making your own food. Exactly. I think that's just
even biscuits.
Yeah, even biscuits. You're allowed to treat yourself, but sweet twist cookies. Thanks, Renee, mum.
Yeah,
best. Absolute cookies.
Fabulous.
Good for her.
So you're going to eat now, are you?
I want to.
You can go for it.
No, it's right.
No, you have it.
I'll eat when the questions aren't on me.
Now.
Pack it open, pack it.
All right, so we're going to go to the second part of our chat. We're going to talk about synchronicities. Synchronicity.
Yeah. Thank you.
I'm so sorry. Is it rude for me to?
No, please. Just for my joy, can you do it the whole time she says it wrong? Just go, Renee.
I'll say the S word. So for me, and I'm going to say this to you, is one of the biggest S's in my life.
Yes.
So my dad's favourite actress was Bridget Bardot.
Yeah.
Who I believe lives with animals now, as far as
she's
I know.
She's a vegan.
Oh, there you go.
Isn't she a big?
She's a big animal activist.
Yeah.
Like Pamela Anderson, vegan as well.
So she's born on September 28th, which is my date.
Bridget.
And funny enough, my son was born on Matthew McConaughey's birthday on November 4th. So that to me spun me out that we have our favourite actresses and actors on our children's birthdays. And I don't know, is that an example of
synchronicity? I think that's just, I feel like synchronicity is one of those things where if you're a cynic, it's a coincidence.
Right.
If you're someone a bit more spiritual that likes to see signs in everything, you'll see it. I just think I'm on the fence about it because sometimes so many things have happened to me. I'm like, it's a sign. Look at it's a sign. It was meant to be. Yeah. Like I'm like that. But then I date a very logical person who's like, oh, really though? And I'm like, oh yeah, I can see your point too. I think it's what you want to believe it to be. Do you know what I mean? I think
you're like me. I believe in it, and then someone says something, your brother, and then he'd be like, oh God, this is why it happened. I go, oh yeah.
Yeah, but then
I go back to going, no, it was meant to be.
But then things happen to them and they go, oh. So I think we're all a little bit like, are there other things at play? Is it me creating this? Is it my cognitive bias? Because, you know, when you focus on something, like say you focus on red cars. If I say to you red car, you'll go out now and all you'll see are red cars because it's been popped in the brain and that's what your brain will filter through.
That is so true. When I found out I was pregnant, all I saw was pregnant people. I was like, where did these pregnant people come from? Get away. And I was like, I remember going, were they here always? They were like, yes, you had blinkers on. I was like, I hate them. Get away.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
So what is it? So what is it that does the synchronizing?
I don't know, but I just feel
like... Is it the universe? Is it an energy?
I reckon it's us.
Yeah, okay.
I'm a true believer in connecting. We are doing this ourselves and the minute we start to doubt ourselves, it drops away. But we're creating this. The life you're living, you've created it. I do believe we're our own creators of it. And yeah, I don't know. I just think it happens all the time. I've had so many conversations this week. I met up with a girlfriend on Saturday. The stories of synchronicity, and I said, can I use them? Because I'm going to do a podcast about it. And she goes, no. And so I can't tell you what, but the things she said to me, and then yesterday she's messaged me and we talked about a certain person who keeps popping up randomly. She spoke his name. And,
that happens to me all the time.
And he's popped up now out of nowhere and she hasn't seen him for years. And then he was on her bus yesterday. She's messaged me and I'm like, damn it, I want to use this, but used it. But didn't really. Didn't
that's all happened to all of us.
Can I tell you, whenever I think of someone, I'm like my mum. My mum's a witch. Every time my mum thinks of someone, she sees that person and I go, it's like you've passed that on to me because it's always when I'm at my shittest. Like I haven't washed the hair or I've like left and I'm like,
but you know
and I keep going manifesting. I keep going, oh, this person comes in, I'm going, when I'm looking hot. It never happens.
But you know that's just Murphy's Law. When you look through your papers, you see everyone looking $1 million.
Always.
Always the way.
But that ESP, is it ESP? That when you...
That's extrasensory perception. Isn't that what ESP is? Isn't that is that a sixth sense?
Yeah, like the sixth sense that I'm talking about.
But synchronicity, I think, is not, I don't think it's ESP. You know what I think it is? I think they reckon it's when your subconscious mind comes into the conscious world. Yeah. That's what it's supposed to be, right? So I don't know. I just look at, like, I'm going to use this example.
Okay, go ahead.
I'll use an example. I was told by a colleague at work, there's a great job, you should apply for it. I hadn't seen it online. She goes, you should look at this. And it was a job where I knew someone from my old workplace was working in this place, but hadn't seen that person since they left. So I looked at the job online. I thought, I don't know. Saw that person from that place the day before the applications were due to close. And she goes, you should apply for that job. And I'm like, oh my God, why have you popped up today? So she was I thought, okay, that's a sign. So I went and applied for the job. End up going for an interview. Next day after the interview, who do I bump into? Her again, randomly. And she goes, did you get an interview? I go, I did. Why do you keep popping up? So is that synchronicity? Am I creating that? Am I looking for the signs? Was she coming anyway?
Yeah.
Like, it's weird. Don't you reckon that's weird? And just, I don't know, all those little things that happen around, like us, when Rynae went to Europe.
Because how long had it been since you stopped talking, not stopped talking, but out of contact?
We had a couple of moments because she was in her 20s. She went to Europe and she went for a holiday. And I said, see you when you get back. Bitch doesn't come back. She ends up going.
She lived there.
She lived there. She ended up not coming back. And we were in touch still, writing emails back and forth. She's like, hey, Dee, got a job on a cruise ship. See ya. And off she went.
Mind you, can I just say quickly before you go ahead, Deanna would write an email and it's like 5 pages. And I write
and
back,
yours are like, I'm saying
FYI, I'm going on a cruise boat. So
hers would be 3 lines. Hey, Dee. Good to hear. Love ya, Ren.
Can I ask you something? What happened to that, Ren? Because it's like, I don't know if you guys swapped now, because you were like novels now when you reply.
No, I tell you what's changed now. Voice messages. Would you voice what the fuck happened to me? Messages. Everyone hates me, but I'm like, hi, just me driving. And I'm just
15 minutes. No, I'm kidding. 8 minutes.
It's like
voice
a podcast.
I'm going, oh, okay, Dee, I'm still listening.
My girlfriends listen to me on double time. My partner doesn't even listen. He will write under, what's this voice message about? Give me the bullet points. I'm not listening to this shit. And I'm like, oh, come on.
I love it.
Yeah. That's funny.
So hang on. So she goes on this ship, right? We're riding back and forth. I'm meanwhile at Gino's, scrubbing the tables, carrying the plates, thinking she's living her best life. End up breaking up with my partner at the time, and I was just devastated. And I thought, I just want to get out of here. I'm going to apply to go work on a ship. Not thinking about her, but maybe I was subconsciously thinking about her. Applied for a ship, get on this ship. Who do I meet on this ship? I meet this guy that, who was I? Was it Conchoc was there?
Yeah, Conchoc, yeah.
So meet this guy that she used to date or whatever.
What a name.
And he comes up to me and he goes to me, you know Rynae? And I said, oh, I do. And she goes, she's coming to take over when I go. So she came to that ship, that one ship, and all the fleet of ships.
Of all the ships in the world.
We worked the same. At 2 girls from Freo who'd known each other for years, who, I just thought, is that synchronicity? I don't bloody know.
And then I ended up coming on, coming on the ship, and we had a cafe bar in the middle of the ship, And they said, there's this girl in the gift shop. And I was the bar manager.
That was me.
Okay, there's this girl in the gift shop that keeps coming here and getting coffee every day and putting it on your bill. And I'm going, what?
I love you, Dee.
I would go in there and say, Rynae is my best friend and she's the bar manager coming on board. I'm going to need some of those COVID chocolates and a flat white. Can you deliver that to the shops? Thanks. And they would shit themselves because they knew that, I would get all the stuff.
Because I was the bar manager. And anyway, I picked up the tab. No big deal. I don't charge for coffee anyway to my friends. But that's a true story. And I'm going, what? That's how I found out she was on board. I go, who's this girl? Because we didn't have Facebook and Instagram back then. And internet on board was really hard to get. There was an internet room. So we didn't have that contact. No. So that's those things have.
That's so funny.
We had such a good contract. We had so much fun. That was a good
Yeah, it was a
run.
good time. Yeah, it was great.
And then she ended up coming back here and whatever. But yeah, we lost contact when she got married. Mm-hmm. We dropped off maybe for what, 2 years?
3 years. But
that is the best. You know what I love about that? That is just the best that you just pick it up.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Just get over it.
Just move on. We don't have time. We just move on.
Because, I will say this. I was thinking of a particular person. It just happened to be like at the Arc or something and saw an old friend. We never fell out, just, life. Like we were in the same circles when we were dating. Then obviously I broke up, moved different circles. And then we caught up. We caught up for a coffee and stuff. It was yesterday. And then we're we're going to catch up. Yep, totally. Just because we've gone through a lot together. But it's just but I'm like that. I love I don't need to live in someone's pocket. I think it's the best.
I don't think friendship needs to be hard.
No, that's easy for me.
We have to manage everything
All
in our
my
lives.
friendships are easy. All of them. And when they get hard, goodbye.
I hate people that take stock of friendships and be like, well, you forgot my birthday or you didn't acknowledge there's something or other. And I'm like, oh, my God.
I know, too hard. You're making it too hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have my friends that I can, because I'm from Sydney originally, so now I've been here for about 4 or 5 years, so I'm going to go back recently, see a bunch of people, but they're the kind of people that I'll just catch up with, sit down and be like, I saw them yesterday.
That's the way it should be.
And they're the friends that you need to have in your life.
Just pick up where you left off. We often will go through maybe 3 or 4 weeks we won't speak. Every now and then I'll just pop in and go, you're live. She goes, yep, catching up soon. Yep. That's what you need because life is busy and everyone's got their shit.
So you just saying that. My bestie I haven't seen her for ages and we've been trying to catch her and it just is not. I go, I saw you more when you were overseas. I saw you more and you live 2 suburbs away. And she sent me this meme. It was like, your best friends when you do this, greeting someone and it's it's got this guy driving and they're going, hello. And then it's your bestie doesn't say anything, just pulls down the window and does this as they drive. And I'm like, that is me and you.
That's beautiful.
But no comment. It would just be like that. And then it'd be like, oh, I saw you. Bye.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
That's the best.
I feel that.
I felt that too.
I feel that.
So that's me. All right. I want to do a quick 20 questions.
Are you going to do that? Then we'll move into
Can I do this? You love this.
Shall we do that?
I want you, I'm going to ask, I'm just going to say a word and whatever comes into your head, I want you to say it.
So 20 and 30.
It's really cool. All
right.
I'm
so
just going to, I don't want you to think.
30 seconds.
20 and 30. Okay.
Yeah, please do not sit there and
the first thing
think.
that comes into your head.
Good God.
Okay, hang on, let me get this. Renee's done this.
Split across 2 pages.
I know, and this has just already got me. All right, ready? Europe.
Greece.
Ex-boyfriend.
Fucker.
Oh, I love that word. Cruises.
Oh, best time.
Greece.
The best country ever.
Anchovies.
Salty.
Balls. Cheese.
Stinky.
Salami.
Gross.
Coincidence. Italy.
Italy. Beautiful.
Ilias.
Motherfucker.
She slid that one in there.
Good time. Good time. Good God, bitch.
I joke and say that name. Fashion.
Love it, yeah.
Rynae.
The best. Gorgeous.
Fremantle.
Love it. The only place I could call home.
Bunnings.
Good God, no.
Mothers.
Yeah. Hard.
Dosa.
Love it. Best. Tasty.
Tea.
Herbal.
Marriage.
It's a no from me.
Best answer. Exercise.
Yeah, necessary.
Men.
Necessary.
It counts as exercise, doesn't it?
That's excellent.
Together. Yes, combined. Elias, how could you?
I know, but I had to because I always think think of that.
We just want a reaction, Dee.
Yes, no, I just had
Good time.
Yeah,
It
good
was
times.
It was a good time. Yeah.
And we
Sounded Greek as
follow the
well.
eyes.
Is it a Greek name?
It was a Greek.
yeah. That's all we have to say. That's all we
leave that-
need to
let's
say.
just keep
Actually,
it
is Greek.
Is it the Greek men from Greece? Should we keep it there?
No.
Or was it somewhere else?
Let's just leave
We'll
it
leave it there. We'll leave it there. So we are starting a new series, which we talked about in our last podcast, Watch, Sip, Repeat. But the reason I got involved in Netflix was because of Dee, pretty much.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because you introduced me to Animal Kingdom.
Oh, great show.
Now, before we go on, I have to
Yes.
tell the listeners that
Go.
Animal Kingdom's only available. What date are we on now? The 18th today? It's only
Yeah,
available.
it'll be stopped by the time they see this
Yeah, but I'm
episode.
just saying.
19th.
But it'll be on another streaming service, I'm sure.
Okay, so
Everyone's surely watched it by now.
No, I didn't.
Really?
Can I tell you something? I haven't.
It's a good one. It's
yeah,
a
right.
good
So
one. Yeah.
not that this is part of Watch, Sit, Repeat. I'm just saying it's an excellent series to watch. Animal Kingdom, isn't it?
Dee, I'm into series where I watch it 20 years later.
I'm the
I go,
same.
Oh my God, it's fantastic.
I've never seen Breaking Bad, and I haven't watched. What's the one? Game of Thrones. I haven't watched any of that.
Okay. I don't.
Oh,
Can I just tell you something? Because I haven't. You know how you gave me the DVDs to watch them. Again, I watched the first season, the
DVDs?
second, and then no, this is how. And then it went. I got Netflix, but it just because she gave me the DVDs, I thought I had to watch it on the DVD instead of Netflix. Because I'm slow. Anyway, then I watched. Like I missed. I think I skipped 3 and 4, and then I had no idea. Is it 5? I had no idea, so I just was skipping, and then I just went to the last episode, and I was like, oh wow, this is cool.
But
she would go on about it
in like 10 years.
and on about it, and I was like, yeah, it's
Game
great.
of
And I'm
Thrones.
like, oh,
I
over
love
it.
Game of Thrones.
Oh, I haven't watched it.
And House of Dragon, I enjoyed as well. I love.
See, I'm watching Vikings, even though that's so over.
That sounds good.
Has this got? Is it Travis Kimmel?
Is that
He's like a
SBS?
country boy. He's
That's-
just hot.
Is that SBS?
I don't know. It's just hot.
No, Vikings. I think it's been on Netflix.
Okay, all right. Got to catch up, got to stay up to date, Dee. So to finish off, I think we're going to talk about superstitions, all right? So pretty much European, Spanish, Croatian, Italian, we have all these things that I think I still know, like little simple things, don't open the umbrella inside. We all know about that, right? That's a superstition.
I still do it.
You actually do it?
Yeah, but by accident, I go, and then I go, fuck, and then I throw it. And I freak
The
out.
broken mirror, is that the other
Broken
one?
mirror
yeah.
is 12 years bad luck. And
Bag on the floor.
Seven
Yeah,
years
so
bad luck.
She's doubled it almost, yeah.
Feels like 12 years bad luck. And then basically a few superstitions.
Shoes on the bed used to tell me all the time.
Or
don't
on the
put your shoes
table.
on
No,
bed.
on the
Yeah.
tables.
Yeah.
You can't have shoes on the table.
Yeah.
That's bad luck.
Yeah.
Yeah. So shall we start? Maybe Alex, I think Alex, you tell us about your household.
We just had, are all the same as you. Like some of them was like, don't pull a face because the wind might change, and then your face is stuck like that.
That was when we
Did
were
you ever hear
Is
kids.
that
that?
superstition, or is that just
I
a
don't
lie
know.
they told
I think
children?
that a lot of these are lies that our parents told us.
But we've, yeah, no.
We've
One that's applicable to us is don't toast with water or empty glasses.
yes, and you're supposed to cheers and look in the
Eye
eyes.
contact,
Yeah, eye
yeah.
contact. Yeah, okay.
Really important.
What was that toast one?
You can't
Toast,
You
cheers.
can't toast with water.
Cheers.
Or water.
Oh, I get you. I thought you meant toast. I was like,
Not toast
toast
out
in
of-
the water.
No, sorry. Like,
Okay.
cheers.
Say cheers.
Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha.
If you spill salt, you have to then throw salt.
I do that.
over your shot.
Actually, I do that.
See?
Can I say this? When you spill it by accident, yeah, isn't it
Over
left
your left
hand?
shoulder.
Yeah, I'm into that.
Yep. I had the umbrella one. Dream about your teeth falling out.
Is death? Is that death for you?
No, dream of teeth falling out is you were speaking ill of someone.
Oh, my teeth are always falling out. No, it's just for me, it's death
Yeah,
or
okay.
disease.
Yeah.
If you dream of feces or number twos, if I can say that.
That's
because
money in
It's
Italian.
money.
Yeah, Italy's money as
Yeah.
well. And if you dream of somebody dying, it means they'll live a long life.
Live a long life.
Nice.
And you guys dream of me dying? Yeah.
Sure.
If
But
you
in good health.
I don't know. Red, hot right ear, hot left ear. Right for spite, left for love.
Oh, I didn't know
Someone's
that.
talking about you.
Oh, isn't that the hiccups when you say
Well, so
that-
that's
when you
also-
do the alphabet?
but
Do
if
the
you're
ears burning? If someone's
ears,
talking
right
to
is
someone
right,
close to you.
Left for love. Itchy nose means argument.
Itchy palm.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna get
Money
angry.
coming in one,
money
and
and
money
leaving in
leaving
So
another.
this is
Yeah.
all
We always get that.
always itchy. This one, because I'm always spending, so that one there. What else is there?
We had in the household, like, if you don't go to sleep, Baba Roga's going to come and get you, like the boogeyman. But this person was like, Baba Roga was like, the way described was like very scary. So I think a Balkan thing, must be a Balkan thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But yeah, she was used for anything. Like you didn't eat your lunch, she's going to come and eat you and
We
you're
used
going
to
to
have
die.
Befana, which is the witch.
Yes, yeah.
January 6th she pops in and naughty kids get the coal.
So there you go.
you get a
Yeah,
coal
we
from-
had
from
something.
the
So we all
witch.
have similar things.
Yeah.
My favourite ones, I think ours are more basically would lead to death. So it's like
Oh,
walking barefoot in the house.
So soothing
gotta wear-
for a
yeah,
child.
You know,
It leads to death.
it's-
Yeah, you're
it
going to
was-
die.
No, we would go, oh my God, I'm going to get pneumonia and die. It was always like this. It was always ammonia. Like, so barefoot would be like,
Wet hair at the
wet hair,
shower.
yeah.
But I think barefoot or sitting on the concrete without a
Not allowed
singlet,
to.
that's really going to help because the kidneys, it always was, ours was always
Always
like,
the
oh, your
kidneys.
kidneys are going to go and then you're going to die. And then it was like,
The
what was
window
the other
open
one?
and you get the
the
draft.
drafts.
The seizure of the
Yeah, propel.
Yeah.
So drafts are,
Yeah.
I'm sure it's there. I love whether it's sitting in front of the door because of the draft or if there's a window open or sleeping or with the window open, even though it's on a hot summer's night, but the wind's coming. Anything to do with basically drafts in any kind of way,
Yeah, I don't like draft.
basically has been killing people since the dawn of time.
I was just going to say,
More
back
than
in the
cancer.
day, though, that's
More than
like,
cancer.
Yeah,
And no,
that
can I tell you
would've-
something?
Open when you sleep.
That is,
Yeah.
I know where we're from, Crow. That is like the biggest killer. Fuck cancer. Like, don't worry about that. It's the draft. And I will say this, we were watching, this is what pissed me off too. We were watching, like, it was like World Cup was on and we were we got there late. It was like a whole group of us and we ended up getting cool seats anyway. But I just will never forget, so it was a massive crowd at our favourite cafe and we were sitting down there and there was like a door. So the door's opened and there's like, a seat there and there were people there and we were looking over their heads. And then this prick just gave this look. He would have been in his 30s. I don't know what the hell he has to worry about his bloody fucking back. He closed the door. So when he closed the door, it was tinted, so you couldn't see the TV. Do you know how pissed off you are when Euros is like, it's very important. Like
It's important.
It's life or death.
It is.
So we kept opening the door and he kept closing it. And I said to him, and what did he say? No, he did this. He slightly turned his head and he went, back and neck, and I was like fumes. I was like, I went, motherfucker, he's in his 30s. Who gives a fuck about the wind? There's no fucking wind. It's hot summer. Forget this. You know what pissed me off? So we're having this. He would close it, we'd open it. So we went for 5 minutes. I thought, fuck this. So we got in, we found our seats. And then I saw the same prick about 12 hours later because there was a DJ going for about 24 hours. So it was going while we're watching it and we thought, oh, we'll go party. So party. And who do I see? With the wind, it was a massive draft coming in. He had a singlet on, smashed, sweating like this. And I said to him, and I think I did say to him, where's the wind? And I walked off. I was like fuming. Like my anger came back because I think we'd lost that night. I was really pissed off. I was very emotional. But there you go. And they're so, when it suits them.
Well,
Yeah.
So I hope he did get an infection.
At my wedding,
We're dead now.
jokes.
at my wedding when we were dancing, a glass of red wine fell on the floor. I know. I think this reminds me of Sex and the City when Charlotte got red wine on her dress. Do you remember that? There was her whole wedding day was all these superstitions.
Brilliant.
And so the red wine fell on the floor, a glass, broke. And somebody came up to me and says, you're going to have a boy. And I looked at them and just thought, whatever. And I had a boy. So broken glass on the floor at
That's
a wedding.
one I haven't
means
heard.
A boy. Dropping olive oil in the house is bad luck. Bad luck. You knew that one?
Yes.
I didn't know that one.
Yes.
Olive oil.
You're not supposed to pour it down the sink either. That's bad luck too.
Oh, there you go. See?
Yeah.
So there's all these little
Goes
things.
down.
Just
You're
wastage
not meant
things,
to,
though.
also babies are not meant to compliment them. I know with our family
this
back
is-
home,
yeah.
you're not meant to say, oh, beautiful baby. It's better to say it's ugly because then you'll give it a bad life.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
I was like, I always go, oh, cutie, oh, isn't it
Yeah.
gorgeous?
Okay.
And pouring wine, since we're on Wiser with Wine podcast, always pour it that way and bring it up. Never pour it this way.
I get
Okay?
told off because when
you
I'm
pour it
Spanish,
this
just
way, that
goes-
means the person's going to get drunk. You always pour it that way.
Well, that's the intention then.
Yes.
That's why I pour it the way I do.
No, but if you do it this way, it's bad luck, apparently. So there's all these little superstitions.
Alternatively, you could just drink it straight out of the bottle and not pour
Thank
it
you,
at all.
Dee. That would solve a lot of
Have a little
problems.
Solving all the problems
Get
in
a
the
straw.
world. Done. My job is
I won't
done.
tell you how fast I can drink a bottle of wine these days. I'm not going to tell.
I believe you.
I've timed myself. I can do it pretty well. And so, yeah, I think that's a wrap. I think we're all good
Dee,
with
I
that.
loved you coming in.
Deanna,
Thanks for having me.
I'm so glad that we get this opportunity to have the S word. Say the S word for me.
Synchronicity.
In a studio, after so many years of friendship, you mean a lot to me, and I
Love
mean that
you.
from the bottom of my heart.
Bless
Yeah, I
you.
do,
Oh,
and
please
I
don't
love you
cry.
too. So,
No tears. No.
and
tears.
basically, any future podcast we will invite you on
Sure.
if you're interested.
Sure.
And that's it for today, girls.
Looking forward
Yes?
to catching up. We'll have some go out for lunch or something.
Oh, don't worry.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, Dee
for a drink.
can give us a great restaurant. We can all catch up that way. Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah. All right. So, see you. That's a wrap. All the best. See you next time. Bye. Bye. Bye.